Hello, this is Mick Foley, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
What's going on, y'all? This is WWE superstar Kofi Kingston, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Hello, everyone. This is Raymond Rougeau, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Aw, yeah. Welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He's Johnny North. WrestlingUncensored.net is the website. YouTube.com/RingsideReport.net. YouTube.com/RingsideReport.net. That's the YouTube channel. Johnny North and I were live right after the Royal Rumble, as we are after every big WWE pay-per-view on our YouTube channel. As soon as Seth Rollins won the Rumble last week, we were on discussing everything that happened. Brock Lesnar defending the Universal title, beating Finn Balor in an incredible match. Ronda Rousey having an awesome match, defending her Raw Women's title against Sasha Banks. Becky Lynch winning the Women's Royal Rumble. We talked about all of that stuff on our YouTube channel, so always be on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so all our videos come up for you very easily. And, if you want to hear us talk about the Rumble at length, you can go to youtube.com/ringsidereport.net. Right now, we're on the road to WrestleMania here. We're looking towards the future over the next hour. We are on that road to WrestleMania, like I said, and we have some matches that are official for not only WrestleMania, but the Elimination Chamber as well, which is the next stop for the WWE. A lot of big news coming out of WWE this week. Becky Lynch winning that Women's Royal Rumble, earning a spot against the champion of her choice, chose Ronda Rousey. Came out on Monday Night Raw this week and said, Ronda, I want to wrestle you. They had a little promo there. It was an interesting promo. I thought both of them had some good points. I was entertained. A little bit baffling as to, they haven't really explained why Becky would lose to Asuka at the Rumble and then win the Royal Rumble.
Tap out to
Asuka. And then after winning the Royal Rumble, she doesn't go and challenge the person who just beat her for the title. She wants to face Ronda Rousey. Now, of course, they have a past, and, there was supposed to be a match in November at Survivor Series. It makes sense. It's a big match for WrestleMania. But the way they went about it was kind of odd.
Well, just not to have the tap out. I mean, you can beat somebody, but did it have to be like that? Like, to make her tap? Like, maybe make her pass out. Probably should have been a better way to end it, I think. The tap out just made it seem like, well, she's clearly better than you.
Right.
So that's going to feel kind of weird if she beats Ronda, and then you always have that thing where, well, Asuka still beats you.
But I guess that sets up Becky Asuka down the road.
And how does this work now? Like, Becky's a SmackDown wrestler, yet is she going to be on Raw now? Because she was on Raw. Daniel Bryan was on Raw as well. So what's going on with that?
Well, Daniel Bryan was only on Raw in the off chance that Seth Rollins chose him, because Seth Rollins won the Men's Royal Rumble, and he could choose to either face Brock Lesnar for the Universal title at Mania or Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. It seems like Seth chose Brock, although that's not official yet, right?
Apparently WWE Twitter is official.
It is?
You don't need Seth Rollins to say yes. It's just they're going to say it on their Twitter. Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar, here we go.
Okay, because that was not clear on Monday Night Raw. Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman come out to cut an in-ring promo at the end of the show. Heyman says Seth Rollins should choose Daniel Bryan because Brock's going to destroy him. There's no point for Seth. And then Seth Rollins shows up, and he goes face-to-face with Brock, and then he punches Brock, and he kicks him a couple times before taking an F5, and then another, and then another. In total, 6 F5s from Brock Lesnar, and they all look pretty good. And I guess we're supposed to understand that Seth and Brock is the match. It was obvious to me that Seth and Brock was the match before the Royal Rumble even happened. You know, we both predicted last week on the show that Seth Rollins would win the Rumble and go on to WrestleMania and face Brock Lesnar and most likely beat him and become the new Universal Champion. And that seems like what's going to happen right now.
To me, him giving him 6 F5s was very telling because that's what it took to beat Roman at WrestleMania last year.
Was it really 6?
6 or 7, but I'm pretty sure it was 6.
Wow.
And, Seth took it, still going to get up, still going to have the match, and maybe that's a sign, Seth is going to be able to fight off Brock regardless that clearly it seems like a mismatch.
And that seems like one of the big matches that they're going for towards WrestleMania. It's now official. We don't have to speculate on maybe WWE changing course because Seth and Brock kind of not that exciting, but that's what they're giving us.
And you're not going to see Brock probably not till closer to WrestleMania. So that's all you're getting really in terms of hype. Maybe Seth will feud with Bobby Lashley in the meantime, whatever's left of Dean Ambrose, but that's about it.
Right. And that's the other big news that we got this week. Dean Ambrose is leaving the WWE after WrestleMania at some point in April. When his contract runs out, he is not renewing his contract, and he's leaving the company.
Hideo Itami as well.
Hideo Itami is different. He asked for his release and was granted his release.
So he's gone already.
He asked to go, and they said, okay, you can leave. He's gone. There was talk that the Revival had asked for their release. Apparently they weren't given it. Dean Ambrose doesn't have to ask because his contract is coming up, and they are not able to sign him again because he doesn't want to stay. He wants to leave. This is Dean Ambrose, one of the best booked guys in all of the WWE. This is a guy who you wouldn't think would want to leave the WWE. He is well taken care of. He's had big matches. He was definitely going to do something at WrestleMania if he had signed a new contract, But now, he's gone.
Well, leaving. Not gone.
Well, what do you mean?
Because it seems like he's going to feud with Nia Jax now, right?
Nah, come on.
Seems like they're doing something with that. And I mean, Nia Jax apparently wrestles guys. That's going to be the gimmick going forward.
Well,
I think that's just going to be her match at WrestleMania. She's going to wrestle a guy.
I don't think so. She was in the Royal Rumble.
Men's Royal Rumble.
Yeah. I don't know. She had a little thing with Dean Ambrose this week, right? It was, what was the deal there?
Seth beat Dean.
Right. Seth beat Dean because Seth cut a promo at the beginning of Raw, and then Triple H showed up and was like, I'm getting emotional. I'm going to cry, Seth. You're making me cry. I love you so much. Oh, Seth, you're so great. You finally lived up to all my expectations. You'll be everything Randy wasn't.
It doesn't matter who you'll face at WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly. And then Dean showed up, and he wanted a match with Seth, and then Seth beat Dean, and then Dean cut a promo, and he starts saying, when I signed with WWE, it seemed like he was talking about leaving, and then Nia Jax shows up, and Nia forearms Dean in the back, and then he falls out of the ring, and Dean thinks about going for revenge against Nia Jax, but then he decides against it. And then Nia and Tamina had a match against Mickie James and Alexa Bliss that they won pretty easily.
Of course.
Really went over strong. And because they won that match, they now advance to the Women's Elimination Chamber match for the first ever women's tag team titles.
It's a mouthful, I know.
Yeah, it's really a lot going on, which we had some qualifiers, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But Dean Ambrose leaving is massive. That is huge.
The thing is, I still question it because WWE has announced this, and they rarely ever announce that someone's contract is expiring. So I'm starting to think, is this a CM Punk kind of deal where they're like, oh, he's leaving, but he's not actually leaving? It's going to be a storyline kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm skeptical as well. The fact that they announced it, At first we were hearing a lot of rumors, and then they announced it officially. Is it true? Is it not true? Is he really leaving? Is it just a gimmick? I'm not sure. It seems more true than gimmick at this point, though. From what I'm understanding, it seems real, and it seems like the WWE was really worried. And apparently anybody who had contracts that were running out in the next year or two that they wanted to keep, they were brought into a room this week and asked to sign extensions. Like, they're trying to lock down their major players to make sure that they aren't left with nothing, because people are willing to go. And apparently, when people in the WWE found out how much Chris Jericho was making in AEW, they freaked out. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe they're paying Jericho this much. This AEW thing is real, and it's a real option for us, and maybe we should go too. Apparently Jericho's making a lot of money in AEW, and this is a real company that's getting off the ground, and it could be like a WCW to the WWE.
And you can kind of tell through his podcast that he's friends with Dean Ambrose, so maybe Jericho got in Dean Ambrose's ear and said, like, hey, you should come over here and we'll do some good stuff with you. And yeah, maybe Dean Ambrose just got tired of being WWE. Regardless that he was still pushed very well, he still probably just didn't like his direction. I understand. I mean, you're trying to be this kind of rebel character, yet you do the stupid stuff with a plant. Like, a lot of his stuff was just really bad.
Yeah. And that was written for him, right? So maybe he wants to go somewhere else, and maybe the Dean Ambrose we see outside of WWE is better. Look at Cody, you know? Cody Rhodes in WWE is all right. Outside of WWE, with the creative freedom, he can be a far more compelling character.
It's just good to change it up, really. It just seems like they've done everything they can with Dean Ambrose. I mean, it'll just be more of the same, I feel. There's not much change unless you put him over to a different show. I mean, all the stuff with the Shield and the same matches over and over again with Seth Rollins. It's kind of good to leave just to change it up.
It's pretty big, though, that he decides to leave. Like, you know, he's making good money. He's booked well.
His wife's there.
His wife's there in a good spot. Like, he's got all the trappings of a guy that would stay in WWE forever, you know? Like, he's got everything that you would want as a WWE superstar. If he carries on with the company, he's there for life, taken care of, Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? Like, this guy, because the machine is behind him, like, is on the path to, like, a legendary status, because they're going to continue to use him in a prominent role. Yet he chooses to leave that, which is something that very, very few in the wrestling business ever do.
But look at Jericho. Jericho did that, and look how well that did for him.
No. When did he do that?
He left in 2005.
To do Fozzy, not to... I mean...
He didn't. Yeah, he didn't
is Dean Ambrose going to start a rock band?
I hope not. But
maybe he will. Maybe that's what he wants to do. I don't know. I don't know the guy.
When he left, he was better than ever, though, Jericho. Now, of course, he left, came back so many times, but each time I thought he got better and better.
So maybe Dean Ambrose isn't leaving WWE even to go to another wrestling company. Maybe he's just leaving to take a break from wrestling. I don't know. It seems unlikely. I mean, the guy was just off for a long time for an injury to come back to wrestling. Now you're going to tell me he's going to leave the WWE and not sign with another wrestling company? Doubtful.
Well, it's a grueling grind because you're doing this, 5 days a week, 2 days off, and bam, you're back flying everywhere all the time. And it can be frustrating when you're going through these stupid storylines that you don't really like, but, you'll just get through it because that's what they pay you to do. And you have to do that week in, week out. I can get it, even though he just came back, like, not liking what his current position is.
When is the last time a guy in Dean Ambrose's position in the WWE left in his prime at the height? Like, it's Hall and Nash.
You could say CM Punk, too. You don't want to see CM Punk because you don't think he's that good, but...
What do you mean I don't think he's that good? He's the best.
You don't think
He was the best.
You don't think Dean Ambrose is that good?
No.
To put him on that level?
No. But Punk left to go do MMA.
And personal reasons.
Yeah.
Didn't like the company, didn't like the direction, didn't want to wrestle Triple H at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
A lot of other reasons.
Maybe it's a similar circumstance for Dean Ambrose. I mean, sure, he's booked well, but he's not facing Brock for the title. He didn't win the Rumble. He just lost the Intercontinental title to Bobby Lashley. What's he doing at Mania, really? You know, if they had signed him to a new deal, I don't really know what they could possibly do with him.
I think it's just kind of crazy where it's like, I think it's been 5 years since Punk left around the Rumble, right after the Rumble. Oh, Punk's leaving. Now after the Rumble, oh, Dean Ambrose is leaving. Something about the Rumble where people just get upset and they realize where the direction's going. They don't like the direction. Let's leave now.
Yep. Because that's when you see where you really stand. Because WrestleMania is the card that matters.
Right.
And your positioning on that card is where you stand in the WWE. And going into the Royal Rumble and going into WrestleMania, you begin to see the cards on the table. And when you see those cards, you're like, well, I don't like this. I don't like these cards. I don't want to play this game. What do you mean you don't want to play this game? I am the game, and I want to play. But you know what I'm saying? Sorry, Triple H just interrupted me there. He keeps doing that.
I hear what you're saying, and I think it's just probably best for Dean Ambrose. And I think WWE's trying their best, if this is not just a storyline, to appease Dean Ambrose and try to make sure if he's leaving that it's not on bad terms, like what happened with Punk.
Yeah, well, he can't leave on bad terms because his wife still works there. That would be really uncomfortable for her. I'm sure it is uncomfortable for her now.
Yeah, but she seems the kind of person where she'll just keep her head down. That's it. You know, do her job. That's it.
Not sad to see him go, but interested that he is leaving. It's fascinating, and I wonder. It could be Impact Wrestling. It could be New Japan. It could be AEW. It could be Ring of Honor. But I think he'll turn up in one of those places. See, Impact Wrestling is going to do a co-promotion with MLW.
I heard about that,
That's smart. I like that a lot. MLW is a good promotion. Impact. Cross-promotion for like promotions like Impact and Ring of Honor and stuff like that. It's very good. It's worked great for New Japan and Ring of Honor. MLW and Impact Wrestling is real smart. I think they're going to do well. There's hope there.
And it's going to show, too, if more people leave WWE, might start a trend where it's like, well, you know, there's better options elsewhere here.
It's a different playing field. 2019 is going to be one of the craziest years in pro wrestling that we have ever seen.
I think it's just going to start, I think, this year, and then maybe...
Next year is going to be crazy.
Yeah, I think
next year is going to be even crazier.
Right.
Double or Nothing. May. AEW's first big show. Once that hits, everything changes.
It's May 25th, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
We doing a post show for that? We better. Yeah.
I'll be in Danville, so we'll wait and see. I'm already wrestling.
Man, Double or Nothing.
You and your brother, maybe.
It's going to be incredible. Dean Ambrose could be on it.
Good possibility.
His deal's up in April, Double or Nothing in May.
I'm more excited for Jericho that he's on it. I mean, you tell me Dean Ambrose is on it. Whatever.
Kenny Omega.
Well, I'm hoping not, because then I get $20 if he's not on it.
That's right, because we have a bet. The bet is Kenny Omega shows up in AEW. That's my bet. And Johnny says he's going to show up in WWE. And he won't. He's going to be in AEW, and then Johnny will have to give me 20 simoleons.
Kenny Omega and Dean Ambrose's spot? Yeah, I could definitely see that working.
What do you mean?
That hole in the roster that Dean Ambrose is going to...
Oh, my God. You really think they're going to be able to sign Kenny Omega? He's going to AEW. People thought he was going to show up in the Rumble. It's a joke.
He can't. It's
a joke. He's not going to the WWE. People need to stop that dream. It's not happening. Kenny Omega is going to All Elite Wrestling. He is the leader of the Elite.
We're going to know soon, right? Because his contract will be up with New Japan, I think, next week, if I'm not mistaken.
7 days, I think. Or February 7th, I believe. They're doing a press conference.
Okay.
To announce when tickets are on sale for Double or Nothing. And then I think Kenny Omega will probably be revealed at that press conference.
Wait and see.
Goodness. This is going to force the WWE to change.
Well, I think they've already changed, right? Because you've seen that they're trying to sign people to longer-term contracts. And it seems like if people are unhappy, they're kind of changing their direction as well. You've seen it with the Revival, where they were unhappy, yet now they seem to got a lot more TV time. I find you can't go a week without the Revival in some capacity. Still not champions, but they're still prominently on TV.
Yeah, they beat Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder this week. I was kind of disappointed. You know, Hawkins and Ryder, they're reunited as a tag team. They had this video package showing you that they were a tag team, former tag team champions, the Major Brothers, the Edgeheads, and now they reunite for their first match back, and they lose to the Revival.
The thing is, Kurt Hawkins has this losing streak going.
Yeah, but break it with Zack, or I don't know, man. Like, it was a bummer. It's like, really?
That's what's going to happen with this team, because
they're just going to be a jobber team.
Because Kurt Hawkins has that losing streak, and that's apparently more important than anything else, apparently.
Great. They're probably going to do a thing where, like, they keep teaming together. Kurt Hawkins keeps taking the fall. Zack Ryder gets frustrated. You saw a little bit of him getting a little frustrated after the match. Zack Ryder will get mad at Kurt Hawkins. He'll attack him. They'll have a little feud on TV. Ryder will win, or Hawkins will win finally, and then they'll both disappear again into jobber status where they've always been.
It's a good chance, but we'll see how long this goes. I mean, they just got together, right? We'll see.
Yeah. It's too bad. I thought, maybe they'd do something with them, but no, doing nothing with them. I just think that the push of AEW and the type of wrestling that they're going to do is going to force WWE to do more of that style, and I think it's going to benefit Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn very much.
Well, first they got to get back on the roster.
Yeah.
I'm a little upset with this whole coming soon stuff. It's been like 2 months since coming soon. Hasn't happened.
I think we're going to have to wait till after WrestleMania at this point.
Well, then those trailers were very disappointing.
Yeah.
Misleading.
I really think, though, when Kevin Owens comes back, he can take over the whole thing.
You would think so. You would have thought so when him and Sammy went back to Raw, yet that did not happen whatsoever. Okay, he got a win over Braun Strowman, nearly dying in a cage match. That's all he got.
Yeah.
So I'd be a little worried still.
I guess, but I just think that they would be well off if they put him in that role as the top guy, because he could carry the show. He can do everything, Kevin Owens.
He's probably coming back, though, with Seth Rollins just winning the championship. Okay, more than likely I could see him feud with Seth Rollins. Is he going to win the championship from Seth Rollins? It's doubtful right away.
Seth Rollins going up against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania for the title. We expect him to win, but we expected Roman to win last year, and he didn't.
It all depends on Brock, right? Like, is Brock going to still be with WWE? Is he ever going back to UFC? I think a lot depends on this.
It's doubtful at this point. I could see him sticking around in WWE.
It just makes sense for Brock to lose, though. It's been building up to this point for Brock to lose. And maybe have Roman interfere to help him win. Like, just as long as Brock loses, because it just feels like this has been dragging on for too long. Seth has built it up, I think, well enough that it's like we need a Universal Champion on the show all the time. I feel like he's the guy.
it would make sense. They need a top guy champion on the show every week. It's enough. It's enough of this Brock stuff.
It would kind of end this whole three-way relationship they've had since WrestleMania, 31 or something, 32? When it was Roman against Brock and then Seth did the cash-in. It was always these three, tied together in some capacity. And now finally put an end to it where Seth one-on-one finally puts an end to Brock.
I think it would be really cool to see Seth Rollins standing there on Raw with the title, Brock not on the roster, Roman not on the roster, Dean not on the roster. Only Seth remains.
It's just good that it's because it's different. That's the only reason why. It's just finally.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's like, man, look at this guy, last man standing. Can't believe he's the guy, you know? It's impressive, what Seth has been able to do. And I think his match with Brock is going to be awesome. I really do. I think Brock is going to tear him to pieces, and it's going to be really fun to watch.
Well, it'll be fun just to see Seth get thrown around. I mean, it'll be fun for that. I don't know if it'll be the greatest wrestling match in the world, and I don't think it's going to be the main event. I definitely think it's going to be Becky versus Ronda versus Charlotte, which is not announced yet, but I think that's what we're getting as the main event.
So Becky and Ronda is the match right now, but I agree. I think Charlotte is going to get inserted into it one way or another. Becky was on SmackDown this week. She talked about breaking Ronda's arm at WrestleMania and what she's going to do to her. And then Charlotte shows up and she says that you're the man because of me. And Becky punched Charlotte in the face. It was a pretty solid punch there on Charlotte. And then she walked away as Charlotte chased after her and they brawled for a while. And then refs and agents had to stop them and get between them. So that's still a thing. And Becky's got a limp. She's got a knee injury. I think it's a work knee injury. It's not a real injury. It's a storyline type of thing. So she left SmackDown because she doesn't want to aggravate her injury. I don't know what's going to happen with Charlotte as far as how you get her in the match, but I think they're going to find a way. Maybe Charlotte says, Becky, I challenge you to a match. If I win, I get to be in the match with Ronda or something like that. And then she beats her, and then she's in the match.
Something like that. I mean, it might be a little bit more than just that, but somehow, some way, I see Charlotte getting in. We still have a pay-per-view after the Elimination Chamber Fastlane, so maybe by then they'll have it all settled how it's going to work.
Yeah, Charlotte versus Becky. The winner gets, I don't know.
I really think
if Becky wins, Charlotte is fired from WWE. If Charlotte wins, she's in the match at WrestleMania. Charlotte puts her career on the line for the one shot at WrestleMania.
The career thing is good, but Becky taking another loss, I think that needs to happen a lot less. That shouldn't happen at all going into WrestleMania. The fact that she has a loss, which is already questionable, I don't think she needs more.
Yeah, unless she gets the big one at WrestleMania over Ronda Rousey. If she beats Ronda, she loses to Asuka at the Rumble, she loses to Charlotte at Fastlane, but then she makes Ronda tap out at WrestleMania, those other losses don't really mean anything.
No, they're actually terrible in terms of
No, they're actually good. They're actually good because Becky got the ultimate victory over Ronda, but she couldn't beat Charlotte and Asuka. So then you circle back and you have more feuds post-Mania for Becky on top against Charlotte and Asuka. Asuka and Charlotte can both say, you never beat me. Yeah, well, I beat Ronda Rousey. You couldn't beat Ronda Rousey. Although Asuka never got a shot. Asuka-Ronda is a match that I still want to see that I don't think we're ever going to see.
It's not well, here's the problem with her.
You never know, but
her going back to Asuka, she's on SmackDown. If Becky wins, she'll be on Raw. So that's the problem. You can't double back with that. And you can't even double back with Charlotte because they're on different shows.
Yeah, I guess.
This is where you need the undisputed champion for the women, but
that's
they're
right.
not going that direction, unfortunately.
Well, maybe you do.
Well, they really should have started that direction. They haven't. That could be a great way for Charlotte to get in, but they need to start working towards that.
Yeah, no, I don't think they do that for WrestleMania. I think Asuka will defend her title against somebody. or a few people.
Yeah, right now there's no big challenger right now for her.
There's no clear-cut number one contender for Asuka. Maybe Carmella. Maybe Mandy Rose.
Definitely multi-woman match, it seems like.
Probably.
That was disappointing, by the way. Mandy and Sonya just qualified just because they say so? That sucked.
Yeah, what's that about?
It's called lazy booking. That's what it was.
Yes.
It's called, there's nobody to wrestle on SmackDown. Oh, we just qualify.
So there's the Elimination Chamber match, and Nia Jax and Tamina had to win a match on Raw to qualify to get their spot. The winners of this Elimination Chamber match, it's 6 tag teams.
Right.
The first ever women's tag team titles in the WWE are on the line, and the winners are the first ever champions. So Nia and Tamina, they qualified. They won a match. Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan beat Natty and Dana Brooke to qualify on Raw. And then Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville are like backstage on SmackDown cutting a promo, and they're like, oh, by the way, we're in this match. And it's like, what? You didn't have to beat anybody to be in the match? That didn't seem right.
Instead of turning Lana heel, which was weird, but we'll get to that later, but they could have done Naomi and Lana against them.
Yeah.
Would have made sense, but nope. Can't do that now. Or Naomi and somebody. Is there nobody else? I guess there's really nobody else they could have done.
On SmackDown? Asuka?
Yeah, they probably didn't want her taking a loss. That's the problem.
No. Carmella?
I guess Carmella and Naomi, they could have done that. But I think as well they don't want Carmella to lose. They're trying to protect... Because R-Truth just won, right? So...
Yeah, I guess.
Too much going on in SmackDown.
Well, you have Nia Jax and Tamina, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville all qualifying for the Elimination Chamber match. It's supposed to be 3 teams from Raw, 3 teams from SmackDown. Obviously, Sasha Banks and Bayley are going to be the other team from Raw.
They have
right?
a match next week, I think, against Alicia Fox and somebody I can't remember.
Yeah, so they're definitely winning.
Yes, of course.
So Sasha and Bayley are going to be in this, and I think they're going to win the titles. Maybe Nia and Tamina, but I'd like Sasha and Bayley to be the first champions. I think they deserve it.
Right.
From SmackDown, Mandy and Sonya, and who else? Like,
well,
we just struggled to find a tag team partner for Naomi.
The Iconics, without question, right?
The Iconics, okay.
Then it gets rough. Then it's really rough. I don't know. It's tough.
What do you do?
I'd really love the super team of like Charlotte and Asuka. That'd be fantastic. That would really help the match a lot. I don't know if they'll go down that route.
Probably not.
Actually, Naomi and Asuka, because they've teamed before, that's what they should do.
Yeah.
There's
but
nothing wrong with that.
Do they want to put Asuka in that match, considering she's the champion? I don't know.
I think it's a good idea because then you could have someone who beats the team, maybe even pins Asuka, and that's your challenger for WrestleMania.
That's not a bad idea. Naomi and Asuka. All right. Nikki Cross doesn't get in this match somehow?
She's on Raw, is she not? Actually, I don't know how it works because this is Heavy Machinery on both shows. So maybe Nikki Cross is on both shows. I don't know.
Heavy Machinery on both shows?
They wrestle on Raw and they wrestle on SmackDown this week.
Did they?
They did. They were in that Four Corners tag match, which was fantastic.
On SmackDown, but what did they do on Raw?
On Raw last week, they wrestled.
Oh, last week, but not this week.
That's right.
So they kind of bounced back from different brands. But the match on SmackDown this week was tremendous. It was the Usos beating the New Day, Heavy Machinery, and The Bar in a Fatal 4-Way Elimination Tag match. Heavy Machinery actually eliminating the New Day, which was surprising. And then The Bar got eliminated with a brogue kick by Sheamus. And then the Usos beat The Bar to win the match.
I wasn't paying attention at first. I thought it was just one fall. And like, oh, Heavy Machinery wins. But no, it kept going.
Yeah, I thought it was over after the first pin, too. It wasn't clear that it was elimination. But I was happy it was because the match was way better because of it.
Well, it was nice for the Usos to win. Now they're going to go on and face Shane and Miz at Elimination Chamber. I suspect the Usos will lose, but eventually Shane and Miz are going to lose.
I mean, it's one thing to put them over The Bar, right?
Right.
Clean. They just beat them. They didn't cheat to win or anything. They're a babyface tag team. They beat The Bar clean to win the tag team titles at the Royal Rumble.
Right.
Miz and Shane McMahon.
Yep.
And now they're going to go face the Usos at the Elimination Chamber, and they're going to beat the Usos?
Yeah, I see it happening.
Are you kidding me? You're going to beat the New Day, too? Why don't you just beat the whole tag team division? Because Miz and Shane, like what? The Usos are one of the greatest tag teams in the history of the business, and you're just going to have them lose clean to Miz and Shane? I don't care about Miz's father. That whole segment on SmackDown was the worst part of SmackDown. By far.
Okay.
Everything else was good on SmackDown. That was not. Miz and Shane cutting their little promo to celebrate their tag team title victory. Miz playing a highlight video of their teaming together and how they got together. And then Miz's dad is there and he says he loves him and he's proud of him. And they have this hugging moment. Oh, my God. It was terrible. What the hell was that? I never want to see Miz's dad on TV again. I don't really want to see Miz. I don't want to see Shane anymore, really. It was terrible. Just awful. And now you're going to put Miz and Shane over the Usos? It's ridiculous. You're sacrificing one of the greatest tag team divisions in the history of the WWE for Miz and Shane for whatever the hell they're doing. They beat The Bar, Cesaro and Sheamus, two of the most legit, rough, big athletes the WWE has. And now they're going to beat the Usos, a twin brother combination of Samoans that come from a long line of great professional wrestlers. They have built themselves over the past decade into one of the most decorated tag teams in the history of the WWE. They are in their prime. They are incredible. And they're going to lose to Miz and 49-year-old Shane McMahon? Are you freaking kidding me? This is outrageous. This is insulting. I don't want to see this, man.
I think it'll actually be a good match. I thought the Shane and Miz against The Bar, that was fun to watch. Like, it's chaos, those matches. They're kind of a mess, but it's fun to watch. The Shane McMahon matches are always fun. Man, Shane hitting the shooting star press, I can only imagine against the Usos, the kind of crazy stuff that he's going to try to pull off.
It wasn't a good match.
It was a car crash.
It wasn't good, though. It was kind of messy. It was sloppy.
It was.
It wasn't good. The only cool part was the shooting star press. Do not lie to the Wrestling Uncensored universe. No.
I'm not lying.
No.
It was a car crash, but it was still fun to see how they got to that point.
Bad Johnny.
You know, it's funny. Like, it's okay for Daniel Bryan to have love on his T-shirt, but apparently if, like, the Miz's dad comes out and says, I love you, you're all mad about it. Like, love's not good in this instance, but it's okay for Daniel Bryan.
I don't care about the Miz and his relationship with his dad. Why is that TV? Boo. Boo that. I need a break. We'll be back. It's TSN 690. It's Wrestling Uncensored. Johnny North is upsetting me, and I get the feeling he's going to make me even more mad when we come back, because we're going to talk about Randy Orton competing for Daniel Bryan's WWE Championship, which is going to happen at the Elimination Chamber. We know what Daniel Bryan's doing at the Chamber. Can he survive? Stay with us.
This is Daniel Bryan, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Hey, this is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
This is Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored. This is Bret the Human Hart, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
All right, welcome back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He is Johnny North. WrestlingUncensored.net is the website. YouTube.com/ringsidereport.net is the YouTube channel. More info on our website at WrestlingUncensored.net. All right, we have a new United States champion this week, Ronald Truth. R-Truth gets a quick pin on Shinsuke Nakamura and beats him for the U.S. title. Rusev then shows up, challenges Truth to a match for that title. Truth accepts for some reason. I thought, oh, here's the end of Truth's title reign right away, right? You thought, okay, Shinsuke just beat Rusev for the title at the Royal Rumble, but Shinsuke had just lost that title to Rusev recently, so flipping it back to Shinsuke seemed kind of like an odd move. And then when Rusev came out, it's like, oh, okay, so they're just doing this to transition it from Truth back to Rusev, really in 3 days, kind of moving the title around. But no, Truth beats Rusev and retains the U.S. title, so he beats Nakamura and Rusev back-to-back. This is R-Truth, somehow.
He deserves it, though.
And he's the U.S. champion. Nakamura showed up after the match with Rusev, and Rusev and Nakamura, who had been feuding, decide to beat up on R-Truth together.
Well, you have to go back here. The Nakamura pin, like when he was pinned by R-Truth, it was kind of controversial because his shoulder was up, like before the 3, yet the referee still counted 3. So it felt like
it looked weird.
Yeah, it looked weird. It looked like that wasn't supposed to happen. I feel like it was part of the story, because if it wasn't part of the story, I don't think Nakamura would have came back. I know some people are like saying, oh, it's a Bret Hart kind of thing, because apparently he wrote WCW on his Twitter. But why would he come back? And now apparently him and Rusev are like teaming again.
Yeah. No, that was all supposed to happen.
Yeah. But it was just, I think, to save Nakamura, where it's like, well, it was an accident kind of thing. Like, Nakamura usually wouldn't lose like that.
Well, that's just a way for Truth to beat Nakamura. They wanted Truth to become the U.S. champion, and they're like, okay, well, he can't credibly just beat him, right? That doesn't make sense. We haven't built our Truth in a way where he can just beat a guy like Shinsuke Nakamura. You got to have some sort of logic to it. When Truth is jobbing to everybody, how can you expect him to just dominate over his competition? If R-Truth is going to win a match, it's going to be these fluky little pins, and, you know, he'll just survive, and that's how he'll win.
Fluky in the sense that it even shouldn't have been a 3 count.
Exactly. So that happened, and then at the end of SmackDown, Daniel Bryan cutting an excellent promo, saying everyone won at the Royal Rumble because he is the planet's champion, and when he wins, everybody wins.
They chant for Becky, but...
Yeah, the fans were chanting for Becky. And they were also chanting for Becky during Ronda's promo, which I want to get to. I want to circle back to Ronda here in a little bit. But Daniel Bryan's promo was so awesome. He introduced Rowan there as his intellectual peer. So Rowan is kind of like his big bodyguard. And Daniel Bryan talked about the cow, Daisy, that had to die to make the leather strap for the symbol of a title belt that he had to carry around. And then Bryan introduced the new hemp and wood WWE Championship with a hemp strap and a wood faceplate. It's really quite beautiful. I like the new design. I think it's awesome. I want one. Bryan throws the old WWE title in the trash, which I thought was pretty cool. And then AJ Styles showed up, and he didn't like that, and Randy Orton showed up. And then we went to commercial for some reason mid-segment, which was odd. I don't know what happened on SmackDown. The timing went kind of screwy. And then when we come back, Jeff Hardy's like in the ring. I don't know where Jeff Hardy came from. And Mustafa Ali is like talking. He's in the middle of a promo. And then Samoa Joe shows up and cut a killer promo on everybody. Joe tells Jeff Hardy starts interrupting him. He's like, act like this is an AA meeting, Jeff, and stay quiet while I share with the group. And Randy Orton starts laughing like Randy couldn't even handle it. Joe was cutting such heat that Randy was like, oh, my God, Joe, you're killing it, you know? And then Randy, you know, he was really just amused mostly. And then Joe gets in AJ's face, and he's like, oh, hey, AJ, because Joe's cutting a promo on everybody.
Well, he did him on Mustafa Ali. He said his little boy.
Yeah, whatever. He said some stuff about Ali. But then he goes to AJ, how's Wendy? Yeah. AJ's wife, and then AJ punches him, and then everybody starts to fight. Daniel Bryan's outside of the ring with Rowan just kind of watching the whole thing. And then Daniel Bryan gets on the microphone, and he's like, none of you deserve a shot of my title. Nobody's getting a shot of my title because I'm going to be the champion forever. And then Triple H shows up on the screen, and he's like, Daniel Bryan, you will not defend your championship against any one man, because you'll be defending against all of them in the Elimination Chamber. Which, like, how fortunate for them that 5 guys decided to challenge for the championship there. Because the Chamber's a 6-man match. I mean, how fortuitous that all worked out. A good thing that Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev didn't want shots at the WWE title. For some reason, Mustafa Ali gets a shot over Rey Mysterio. But hey, good thing Rey and Andrade didn't want a shot too, because then they couldn't do a chamber match. There'd be too many guys. But we have 6, so it all worked out. So it'll be Randy Orton versus AJ Styles versus Mustafa Ali versus Samoan Joe versus Jeff Hardy versus Daniel Bryan for Bryan's WWE title in the Elimination Chamber. That's pretty cool. It's not too far away either.
It's kind of funny how this turned into CM Punk, where Punk was the face and like the McMahons were the heels, and yet now we switched it around where the McMahons are the faces and Daniel Bryan's the heel. Like the Authority are the good guy now. It's kind of weird.
It is weird.
Yet that's how it turned out. It's quite fantastic.
Isn't Vince a heel sometimes?
I find he flip-flops.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Shane's a face.
Shane's a baby face. Shane's barely an Authority figure. He's just Miz's tag team partner.
He made the match for the tag team title, for the 4-corner thing. Like, he chooses his opponents, apparently.
Doesn't seem fair.
Nope.
Yeah. So Shane, but Triple H is an Authority figure. I guess he's a babyface.
Yeah, for the most part.
He was real babyface with Seth Rollins on Raw.
Yeah.
The Elimination Chamber is in 2 weeks.
February 17th?
Yeah. Wasting no time in Houston, Texas. Miz and Shane against the Usos, Bryan in the Chamber, and the Women's Tag Chamber. The 3 matches announced, but I assume we're going to get a barrage of matches announced this week on Raw and SmackDown. As, we got to build this thing. We're 2 weeks away.
Well, also, this isn't a 7-hour marathon like the Royal Rumble, though. I mean, max, this will be like 4.5 hours. And when you have 2 Elimination Chamber matches, both more than likely going to be around 40 minutes to longer, you don't need that many matches when you think about it. You'd be okay with, I think, 6 to 7.
Will Elias versus Jeff Jarrett and Road Dogg be one of the matches?
Yeah, Elias weirdly is a heel. Apparently at the Rumble when he came out, apparently that was his heel turn, but I didn't see that. I didn't catch that, but apparently that was his heel turn when he hit Jeff at the Rumble.
I didn't realize that. It seemed like he turned fully heel on the crowd this week on Raw. Says that his songs are for him now, but the crowd still seemed to like him. He's like, "You guys don't deserve me," and they're chanting, "We're not worthy." Like the crowd was into it, but they weren't supposed to be, because Elias has turned heel for some reason because he's feuding with Jeff Jarrett. Like, what the hell's going on here? Jeff Jarrett wants revenge because he got hit with a guitar from the Rumble, and then the Road Dogg showed up for some reason, and then they started singing Jeff Jarrett's old theme song, "With My Baby Tonight," and it was terrible. And then Elias hit them with a guitar, and never was I so happy to see Elias hit somebody with a guitar. I was actually cheering for Elias for the first time in my life. I was like, yeah, Elias, get Jeff Jarrett and Road Dogg. Make those old guys stop singing and dancing. They look ridiculous.
I can't believe it's 2019, and I saw Jeff Jarrett on Raw call somebody slap nuts. This is amazing. This is fantastic.
Are they building towards a match? Like, what is that? Was that just post-Rumble stuff? Like the aftershock from the Rumble? Was that what it was? Or are they continuing this? Are we going to see Jeff Jarrett on Raw Monday?
I think we're definitely going to get a match. Is it just going to be
really?
a Raw feud? Maybe it's just going to be on Raw.
Jeff Jarrett versus Elias.
It's going to happen one-on-one. I don't know if it'll be on Raw or the pay-per-view, but we're definitely going to get it. Road Dogg, I don't think we really need to see Road Dogg. He looked kind of chunky. I don't think he needs to wrestle.
Do we need to see Kurt Angle wrestle anymore? He got beat by Baron Corbin. Why?
I think we're building towards Kurt Angle's retirement match, where Kurt he can't do it anymore kind of thing, and he's got to prove himself. But it's going to get to a point where it's like, hey Kurt, this is ridiculous. You got to stop doing it. And he's like, no, I'm not going to stop doing this. And then it's going to be like the Ric Flair. You lose, you're gone. And I think that's going to be his last match, probably at WrestleMania.
Where if he loses, he's gone, and he's just going to lose again. So this is how Kurt Angle, the great Kurt Angle, ends his career, by losing and not even being in a match against Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre. That's how Kurt Angle ends his wrestling career. It's just sad.
Oh, not everyone gets a happy ending. Too bad.
Well, that's not right.
Next time, be a McMahon,
Who retires Kurt Angle? His own son, Jason Jordan, in his return match.
That would be fantastic. That's actually fantastic booking. They need to do that.
I'm a genius. Finn Balor, Bobby Lashley at the Elimination Chamber for the Intercontinental Championship?
I'd rather see it at WrestleMania, but yeah, sure, I guess.
It seems like it's going to happen now. Balor cut a promo about his match with Brock, and then Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley interrupted him. And then Finn says he lasted longer with Brock than Bobby did in the Rumble. Then Lashley got mad and then beat up Finn, who was nursing injuries from his match with Brock. I think we probably see it at the Chamber. Maybe we see it again even at WrestleMania.
Well, this might be a little thing where they flip-flop the title back and forth, and they go all the way to Mania with it. It's very possible. Just seems like I don't think you need to see this match 3 times next 3 months. I think one's enough.
Ronda Rousey and Bayley had a pretty good match this week. I thought it was excellent.
I thought it was kind of sloppy, but okay.
Yeah?
I didn't think it was that. It felt like last week too, that when Sasha and Bayley against Natty and Ronda. I mean, some parts were good, but some parts were like, ugh, that looked rough. Ronda has these moments. Ronda at the Rumble, to my opinion, stole the show. On Raw, wow, you shouldn't be on Raw. You need a lot of work. This is bad. I
thought it was a good match. I liked it. She's rough, but that's part of what makes her fun to watch. It's dirty, it's not clean and crisp. There are things that just look rough, and that's how a fight looks. Fights don't look clean. Not every punch lands.
I'm just saying, watch Botchamania, because the last 2 Ronda matches on Raw, that's going to be pretty much all you need for Botchamania, I think. And the promo, too. Man, that was bad.
Before the match or after
before the match? Oh, actually, no. Before the match, mainly. I mean, after the match, whatever. It was all right.
Ronda starts cutting a promo. She was trying to thank Sasha Banks for the match, but the fans were just booing Ronda and chanting for Becky, which she was not expecting.
She didn't look happy at all.
No, I don't think she was happy. And if you think about it, it's the first time she's had to face this type of crowd. It's the first time she's had to face a crowd that doesn't support her. Every other building she's ever walked into for the WWE has been unanimously in her favor, cheering her on. Now, there's somebody they like better, and it's Becky Lynch. And they want Becky to beat her. And they made that very clear on Raw. Ronda was the heel. And the WWE wasn't expecting it. Ronda wasn't expecting it. And you could tell that she was shaken up. She did not handle it well. She tried to get through the promo. It looked like she was saying things off camera, like, what do I do?
Well, when she admitted that she stuttered and said, "Oh, thanks, guys, you caught me for that," you could tell how mad she was.
Yeah. She was not happy. But I thought that added to her promo later with Becky. Her anger. Becky shows up after the match that Ronda had with Bayley that I thought was pretty good, but John didn't like it. Becky cuts a promo on Ronda, says she chose to face Ronda at WrestleMania. And then Ronda grabs the mic, and the crowd just boos her out of the building.
Yeah.
Right? Crowd totally on Becky's side. And Ronda says, I've been a household name for 10 years. I've been doing this. I've been beating people up. I'm proud of what I've done. And you know, and everybody in this building knows that I have the ability, and this is what she said, I have the ability to kill you with my bare hands without breaking a sweat if I want to. And Ronda looked mad. I don't know if that was a rehearsed line. That felt like a real Ronda Rousey line. That's her saying that. And it's true, and it's scary when she says it, and when she gets in that mode. Ronda is a killer. She could do what she wants with anybody, mostly anybody in the WWE, man or woman, including Becky Lynch. Not to say I don't want to see Becky beat her at WrestleMania. Not to say Becky isn't an incredible professional wrestler, but Ronda Rousey is a world champion MMA fighter. It's a different story with Ronda. And when Ronda gets mad, ooh, look out. I thought the match with Bayley was rough because Ronda was mad because the crowd was so against her. And I thought that the promo was really rough after with Becky. Talking about killing her with her bare hands? That's crazy. You don't hear people talk about that. You know, people don't talk like that on the WWE. It's supposed to be a PG show, but Ronda went hard, and I think she was mad. Well, legit mad.
I feel Ronda is allowed liberties like this. Others, not so much. If Apollo Crews says he's going to kill somebody, he's not going to be on Raw. He'll be out of
ever
WWE.
Again?
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
But Ronda, I'm sure they allowed this. They wanted this. They pretty much give Ronda carte blanche to say whatever she wants. She can practically swear. I mean, killing is practically swearing in a sense. So,
well,
Ronda can say whatever she wants, really. She has that power in WWE. And it helps with that, too, because for you believe in that. Because you know if this was a real fight, Ronda probably could kill her. So it helps add to the story.
I thought it was a really good promo from Ronda. I thought Becky's promo was good, but I thought then Ronda came back and she did well. Like, she handled the audience and she was just mad and in the zone.
The ending, just the beginning, the whole, like, you know, if you don't dream big, don't dream at all thing, like that was off the rails, I think. That one wasn't good.
Well, that was supposed to be a promo where the crowd was behind her. And if the crowd was behind her, I think it would have worked out a lot better. But when you're trying to cut this inspirational promo about doing great things and follow your dreams, and the crowd is booing you out of the building, and you're supposed to continue along that promo, you know, I understand why she was flustered.
I think we saw two sides of Ronda, and it goes to show the intense, like, savage Ronda. That's what people want to see, not this, like, oh, be a role model, believe in yourself. That Ronda, that's the heel Ronda. No one wants to see that Ronda.
And people want to see Becky beat Ronda because people see Becky as the professional wrestler.
Oh, and also because just Becky is pretty much the main thing right now in WWE. She's the main thing people want to see.
That's it. She's the top thing going in the WWE, and that's saying a lot, you know, considering Ronda Rousey and Brock Lesnar are on TV.
Well, Ronda's a great champion. It's a great accomplishment for Becky to beat her because no one has done that. She's gotten to the point now where Ronda is too great. And now you need someone to finally put her down because Ronda's beaten everybody at this point. Becky's the last one. And Becky has to beat her.
And I think she will.
With Charlotte in the match.
Yeah. That's the main event for WrestleMania. That's the last match. That's the match everybody wants to see. Becky, Charlotte, Ronda.
Well, we still don't know who Daniel Bryan's going to wrestle at WrestleMania. That could be the match, especially if it's Kenny Omega. So.
It's not going to be Kenny Omega. I think it's going to be one of the guys from the Chamber.
Okay.
I think it's still up for grabs. I don't know. I think Bryan walks out of the Chamber still champion.
Yes, he's done it before.
But one of those guys will probably face him. It could be Samoa Joe.
I don't see it like that.
I mean, he's a heel now, so it would be tough. But, like, it could be AJ Styles. It could be Randy Orton.
I think Jeff Hardy is the most likely out of all those guys
really?
to go on to WrestleMania. Jeff Hardy, that's a great story to go to WrestleMania.
Jeff and Bryan, though?
I could believe in that.
Maybe.
I think Rey Mysterio, Daniel Bryan, that's probably the match you should do.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to happen. Man, you look at the options there for Daniel Bryan and nothing really pops out at you like, wow, this is incredible. This is what they should do. That's why the John Cena plan, I think, is the best move. John Cena, Daniel Bryan. That's the match. That pops out at you like, yes, this is what I want to see. More than any of those other choices that are currently on SmackDown.
Well, I think Ray's the best match. John Cena's the best story. So, it really depends what you want to see. I want to see the better match.
I think Ray's a good opponent for like Fastlane or something, but for WrestleMania, you want the big story. Cena is a big story. Or Undertaker. One of those guys for Daniel Bryan. Like, I want to see something big. Marquee matchup. It's the WWE title. It's WrestleMania. It's Daniel freaking Bryan. This is a year in to his comeback at WrestleMania. He came back last year at Mania. This will be a year in. Look at everything he's accomplished in this 1 year. Incredible. The greatest wrestler in the business today.
Let's not forget, Triple H is on his road to recovery here. So maybe Triple H will finally get that match with Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship.
Oh, God.
That's marquee, is it not?
Okay, show's over, John. When can people see you in the ring?
Where do you get the Triple H voice? I'm so disappointed.
No, Triple H. I don't want to wrestle Daniel Bryan. I want to wrestle Undertaker again.
Not Batista?
Okay, Batista. Scott Steiner's looking pretty small these days. I think I could take him. Big Papa Pump. I want my rematch. Hey, what's Goldberg doing?
Hopefully AEW. So, February 17th, wrestling Drew Onyx, no disqualification match, defending my British Commonwealth Heavyweight Championship. And it's 4325 Industrial Boulevard. Bell time is 2 p.m.
There you go. More info. Follow him on Twitter at North Genesis. Follow him on Instagram at Genesis Johnny North. You could follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Same handle, at Dave Simon MMA. At Dave Simon MMA. Twitter, Instagram, ringsidereport.net, wrestlinguncensored.net, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net. Very easy for you. Everything that we do is up on our YouTube channel, including Dave and Johnny Live. We go live every Friday afternoon. We talk wrestling. We talk TV. We talk whatever is on our minds and your minds on Dave and Johnny Live, Friday around 12:30, every Friday on our YouTube channel. Go subscribe right now.
And our next episode will be back at the usual time after the post-game show.
Yes, for the next episode of Wrestling Uncensored next week. A little bit earlier tonight.
You're very fortunate.
There you go. I want to thank Jimmy and Marco back at TSN 690 for helping us out, and a big thanks to you for listening. For Johnny North, I am Dave Simon, and this has been Wrestling Uncensored. Yeah.
Yeah.